Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Comic Report. My name is Eric, and sit back and relax because crap is hitting the fan in Pleasant Hill. This past Wednesday saw the release of Avengers Standoff, Assault on Pleasant Hill Alpha. It's the first part of the Standoff crossover event that's going to be going through all the Avengers books for the next 2 months. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of this episode, I will say that there are spoilers for Standoff, Assault on Pleasant Hill Alpha #1 in this video. So if you don't want spoilers, you want to read the book for yourself, turn back now. So let's go ahead and see what Earth's mightiest heroes are in for. So the story opens during an interrogation that Steve Rogers is conducting with the S.H.I.E.L.D. IT personnel. This S.H.I.E.L.D. agent and some others broke into a command room of a S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier and for the sole intent purpose of watching football. During the events of this football game, Bucky breaks into, and by break into, I mean he might exploded the room. He gets into the room and gets the one IT S.H.I.E.L.D. agent that hacked the system to hack some files for him, seemingly about the Pleasant Hill, the Truman Show-like town that we covered in the last video. Bucky gets out with the information that he had. Steve Rogers is none too happy. He is wondering whether or not Bucky is reverting back to his Winter Soldier programming or if there's something even darker going on. He got that weighing on Steve's mind right now. And we flash over to the current Captain America, Sam Wilson, and he's in the middle of a eco-terrorist battle with the Green Skull. I've been finding it funny that between this opening scene in this book as well as the first 6 or so issues of the Sam Wilson Captain America, just how many hot button political and social issues this new Captain America is already facing. Over in his book, he's been dealing with immigration issues, he's been dealing with corporate fat cats, now he's dealing with eco-terrorism. It's just hitting a lot of real world issues going on right now. Sam stops the Green Skull, takes down his airship, I think his compost barge or whatever he called it, and it's still getting no love whatsoever. He is got people still complaining about him. He's got people holding signs around him saying and picketing, saying "Not my Captain America." Sam Wilson is getting the short end of the stick over the last few months. So you would think that coming out of Secret Wars that he would fare better, but not Sam. The book flashes now back over to Steve Rogers. During the interrogation, he had found a napkin or a handkerchief that made him think of an old diner that he used to go to back during the World War II days with Bucky, before the war. He's thinking about it. Still smells like fresh eggs and whatnot in here. And you look over, and here is Bucky with his hair tied back and sitting there being like a short order cook. Bucky pretty much says that he left the clue for Steve to let to get in there, and basically starts in with telling him that Maria Hill has been lying to him. We go from short order cook Bucky starting to tell Steve all the dirty little secrets that S.H.I.E.L.D.'s been hiding, and we immediately jump back over to Sam Wilson. He's been summoned by the Whisperer. He's a character that's been feeding Sam intel over in Sam Wilson Captain America for the length of the series so far. Finally got a request from Sam to come actually meet him in person. So far their meetings have been very secretive. Sam doesn't even know who Whisperer is, so he's very intrigued as to what's going on. If you're actually summoning me for a personal meeting, then something's got to be wrong. So Sam arrives at the Whisperer's hideout, and it's just this rundown apartment and whatnot. You find out that the Whisperer is none other than Rick Jones, sidekick extraordinaire to the Marvel Universe. When Rick was cured of being A-bomb, he got super smart for a very limited amount of time, was able to absorb knowledge very quickly. So he took the opportunity to learn the internet and hacking and everything like that. So he's become kind of a oracle type figure for Sam, and that's apparently his gift right now. Rick tells Sam about the Kobik program, which Sam already knew about. It's the program that involved using the cosmic cube fragments to alter reality, that whole big program that was in Sam Wilson Captain America. Rick Jones basically explains to Sam that that program is still going on, even though Maria Hill went on to mainstream media and whatnot and condemned it and said that we were not doing that program. Rick Jones is basically explaining to Sam Wilson that was a lie. She is still doing whatever it is that she's doing with the Kobik program. Meanwhile, back at the diner, Bucky is telling Steve the exact same thing at this point in the comic the information is going, both Sam and Steve are receiving almost the same information from Bucky and Rick Jones. Bucky's able to give Steve the location of Pleasant Hill and that he's going to head over there and deal with it. Rick Jones gives Sam Wilson the exact same intel, and it's almost at the same time both groups were found out by S.H.I.E.L.D. S.H.I.E.L.D. agents are surrounding Whisperer's headquarters while Maria Hill shows up with Steve Rogers. So let me know in the comments if anyone noticed this at all, but for some reason I felt like Maria Hill became Spider-Man light in this issue. My experience with Maria Hill before is her appearances in Brian Michael Bendis' Uncanny X-Men and All New X-Men run, to where she was like weighed down by the burdens of mutantdom. In this book, she's cracking jokes, wanting some flapjacks from Grandpa Steve. The whole time, for some reason, felt like a little kid trying to be funny to gain their dad's approval. It was just really weird with the way she was acting to me. I don't know if it was just me, the way she was coming across during the whole issue, or if anybody else noticed it. And if there are earlier depictions of Maria Hill acting in this manner, please let me know in the comments what they are so I can go back and look, so that way I can be up to date with everybody else. So, as I said, Bucky leaves, making his way to Pleasant Hill. Sam and Rick have left Rick's headquarters where he was at, and during the course of them trying to get away from the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, Rick tells Sam just to leave him on a rooftop somewhere. They're not interested in Sam, which they're not. He gets away. Rick's now trying to evade the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. Sam then calls in his Avengers team, so most likely at this point Sam really isn't in the issue anymore, so most likely this part of the story will pick up with all new, all different Avengers. Maria brings Steve to Pleasant Hill, telling him that, you know, he'll probably like it. You should feel right at home in this whole thing. Apparently she was all excited to show Steve around. Some of the residents of Pleasant Hill that Maria points out is Willie, the groundskeeper, as well as a man running a business that she scans to show Steve that this person is the Absorbing Man. Steve points out this man doesn't look anything like the Absorbing Man. Build, face, everything completely different. Maria then basically says, you know, well, the program we're using, we are able to change the appearance as well as the personality. Steve starts finally figuring out that, well, one, I believe it was already established that Pleasant Hill was a prison, but starts to figure out that they're using the cosmic cube fragments. That Project Kobek was not dissolved like Maria said it was supposed to be. Steve is very adamant that this program needs to be shut down right now, that whatever is being used to change these prisoners needs to be destroyed right away. She basically brings Steve to a young little girl and says, go ahead and destroy it. If you'll note from the last video I did, this is a little girl that I completely forgot about even mentioning in the video, which is weird because you think I would, seeing as how the girl was on the cover. You think that the one thing I would talk about during the entire course of a video is who or what is on the cover. By the way, today's episode is brought to you by the color yellow. When Steve meets the little girl, she makes comment about the star on his chest on his S.H.I.E.L.D. uniform and says that's not the way a star is supposed to look. It's supposed to be more rounded. And she touches his chest and this weird light comes around him or on him that he's noticeably feeling. And we're kind of, as an audience, left wondering, okay, is this how Steve, because we all know from press releases from the Captain America 75th anniversary special that was on ABC, is she the one that's going to bring Steve Rogers back to being Captain America at the end of this crossover event. We find out the girl's name is Kobek. She is named after the project that Maria Hill says is not being run by S.H.I.E.L.D. right now, because, you know, S.H.I.E.L.D. is, you know, very forthcoming with information. We meet the doctor that is in charge of this girl's care, Dr. Eric Selvig, who, if you know from watching Thor, watching the Avengers movies, is a character that was first appeared in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and has now been brought back into the Marvel Universe proper. You find out that during the explosion Bucky witnessed in Welcome to Pleasant Hill #1, the cosmic cube fragments exploding created this little girl, and she evolves into this young woman who embodies the power of the cosmic cubes, and she's able to bend reality, and she's the one that's actually making all the personality changes and the physical changes to the villains. Either she's doing it or they're using her, channeling her power to do it themselves. Meanwhile, groundskeeper Willie makes his way into a cellar under a building, where he's met by another man and a woman, and they're speaking as though they know exactly what's going on with the town. You find Baron Zemo in the cellar with them, and you find out that they are villains who fully know that they are in this prison. So the villains talk about their plan to awaken, that they believe there's like 16 or 19 other villains that have full knowledge of what's going on. They're just waiting for their physical appearances to be altered so that way they can make their move against Pleasant Hill now that Maria Hill's in the town, now that Steve Rogers is in the town. Back at Maria Hill's office, she's talking to Steve about worrying that when Bucky arrives, he's going to kill the little girl. Steve's trying to assure her, no, he's not. His morality will keep him from doing that. She's not too sure. All of a sudden, a man named Roger comes into the room wanting to petition something going on in the town. You find out that very quickly that Roger is Nitro, and he gets charged up and makes the mayor's house go boom. If you remember, Nitro was the one at the beginning of Civil War who destroyed the school. And since Standoff is possibly a precursor to Civil War II, it's very fitting that he is the one who's going to be starting everything off. So all these villains start getting awoken in the town. Maria recovers, Steve recovers. The little girl nowhere to be found at this point. I don't believe it's even clear whether or not Baron Zemo or any of the awakened villains know where she is. Steve calls in the Avengers Unity Squad, to which Baron Zemo walks in and says, go ahead, the more the merrier. At the end of this issue, it looks like more than anything it's going to lead directly into Uncanny Avengers number 7, which it stands this Wednesday, March 9th. That is one of the 2 tie-ins to Standoff happening this coming week. The other tie-in coming out this week is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. number 3. Most likely Coulson's team is going to be called in to help contain what's going on. Meanwhile, the Avengers Unity Squad will come in Steve Rogers' request. So far, I'm very intrigued as to what's going on in this storyline. Nick Spencer has me hooked. I've been enjoying Sam Wilson, Captain America, who does not love Cap Wolf, and just the way he already was seeding that series to tie in with this series. Jesus Saya, most likely butchered that name. He did a very good job with the art chores on this book. I didn't see anything that was like glaring, standing out. The art so far on this series has been really good. Most of the artists on the main books that are going to be crossing over have been excellent either. So as far as art goes, I'm not seeing any issues so far with how this book is going to be presented. So tell me what you guys think. Are you guys thrilled for this series? Are you looking forward to it? Do you have any theories on this little girl, Kobik? Do you think she's going to be the one that brings Steve Rogers back into the Captain America mantle? And what theories do you guys have for the series going forward? What do you think is going to happen with the Avengers Unity Squad? Sam's calling in his Avengers team with Iron Man. What are all these factions going to think once they get involved? Do you think S.H.I.E.L.D.'s going to have a leg to stand on when this whole thing is over? Hopefully we'll find a little bit more about just exactly what's going on and how this series is going to progress with next week's issues. So that's it for this edition of the Comic Report. Let me know in the comments what you think, and go ahead and hit subscribe. And until next time, see you later.